at some point we have to surrender and let go and realize that we are not gods, we are not in control, we don't know everything, we have to let go and let ourselves be taken care of. Hello Angel, welcome back to the channel. I am so happy to have you here. Today we're going to be talking about the law of attraction and some of the challenges, questions, and experiences that I've had within it. We'll also be covering manifestation as well as a few other areas within this realm. Before I dive in, I just want to be very clear that I am not here to tear apart or criticize anyone's beliefs. I'm sharing my own experiences and my own opinions. I'm completely open to dialogue on this subject. I want to dialogue. I want to have a conversation. This is not me trying to force my beliefs upon you. This is just a discussion. Let's start by defining what the law of attraction is. The law of attraction states that everything that we think, believe, and feel will reflect to us in our reality. So basically, we are constantly creating the world around us through our thoughts, positive or negative, good or bad, whatever we think will be shown to us in our reality. Manifestation is a little bit different, but they play off of the same beliefs. Manifestation, the difference is that it tends to put us adjacent to the universe, whereas in the law of attraction, we are believed to be one with the universe. We are the universe. We are creating our universe because we are our universe. Whereas in manifestation, we are constantly co-creating with the universe. We're on the same plane, we're in the same existence, but we're reflecting back to each other certain things. So there's a slight different dynamic there where it's more of a relationship in manifestation, whereas the law of attraction, we are the universe. Where do these beliefs come from? If you ask someone who is a huge proponent of the law of attraction, they will tell you that it's found within everything. It's in all religions and all beliefs. It extends to the beginning of time and will extend to the end of time. I personally disagree with this stance. I don't believe that the law of attraction is something that is found in every single religion. Yes, there are pieces of it. Yes, there are similarities found in religions. But the law of attraction as we know it today did not exist until 1877. It was first written into existence by Helena Blavatsky. Helena was a Russian occultist and writer who worked with several different spiritual teachers. She was a part of the Society of Theosophy, which they were the founding fathers of New Thought. So the New Thought is a very big and complex belief system that is now referred to as the New Age. So the New Age evolved out of New Thought. The reason I bring this up is because it's really important to recognize the role that New Thought played in the creation of law of attraction. If you want to do your own research, I heavily suggest that you look into New Thought and look into some of the teachers and founders and proponents of it. It's very revealing and really fascinating and explains a lot about the spiritual world that we have, the spiritual worldview that we have now. So after Helena Blavatsky wrote about the law of attraction in her book, it then spiraled and grew into what it is now. Napoleon Hill is often credited for really giving birth to the spirit of the law of attraction because he wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, which then brought about the abundance mindset and the picture of law of attraction that we have now. So he is one of the influential players in the game of the law of attraction. The reason I bring up the origin of the law of attraction is to pose the question of, is the law of attraction actually a universal law? What is a universal law? Well, a universal law is different from a natural law or a scientific law. A universal law is a spiritual concept that has been heavily influenced and amalgamated from the Kabbalion. So that is where the idea of these universal laws come from. Again, a very important spiritual read if you're into the occult. Highly recommend that you check it out. So a universal law is to believe to be an absolute function of the universe. It is a standard through which our universe works and our universe functions. It is something that occurs to every single person on this earth, whether they are conscious of it or unconscious of it. So the universal law is a metaphysical concept that is usually paired together with laws of nature, such as the law of gravity or the law of motion. So spiritualists will say that the law of attraction is just another law. Same as the law of gravity, same as the law of motion. My question and my challenge to that is, if the law of attraction is really a natural law like it's claiming to be, then why aren't there more studies that are showing that it's effective and that it is constant? Now, don't get me wrong, science cannot prove everything. I don't believe that science can prove everything. I think science does have limitations, especially when it comes to spirituality. With that being said, if a concept is going to claim to be a law, it has to be proved consistent. It has to show itself over and over and over again to be true, like we see with gravity and with the law of motion. This is not true for the law of attraction. If it were true, then it means every single thought that I think has to show up in my reality, and that doesn't happen. And guess what? It's probably a good thing that that doesn't happen. Because if it did happen, if we were truly responsible for everything that happened in the world, if our thoughts were truly the cause for everything that happens in the world, we're screwed. Like, we're screwed. Because that means every trauma, every pain, every hardship that you've had to experience, you caused it yourself. Every bad thing that's happened to you, you thought it into existence. You have no one to blame but yourself. So do you see the problem there? It promotes this really dangerous and harmful idea of spiritual victim blaming. It puts all of the misfortune that's happened into the world on our shoulders. You got cancer? Well, maybe you should have thought more positively. Your mom died? Well, you manifested that. This is literally what's being taught in New Age circles and in law of attraction circles. And so some people may, pose the question of, well, maybe the universe has a different plan. Well, that question in itself and that suggestion in itself derails the validity of the law of attraction. Because if the law of attraction was really an absolute law as it claims to be, then it wouldn't matter what the universe's plan is, because my plan should override the universe's plan, because I am the creator, right? According to the law of attraction, yes. So then the only feasible explanation for pain, so for poverty, for racism, for sexism, for homophobia, for child trafficking, for sexual assault, the only reasonable explanation for that, according to the law of attraction, is we caused it through our own thoughts, through our own beliefs, and through our own feelings. And this is why the law of attraction is not true. It just isn't true. These things don't happen because we thought them into existence or because we, didn't feel the right emotion. In fact, that belief is really, really damaging because it promotes spiritual bypassing, which then causes us to move away from and run away from feelings like depression or anxiety. We internalize those emotions and think of them as negative. We think of them as something that we have to hide or something that we have to get rid of, lest we manifest pain into our world. We're gonna get more into this in a second, but I just wanted to point this out that I don't believe the law of attraction is a universal law. It is not a natural law like it claims to be, which is a good thing, because if it were, we're gonna have a lot to pay for. Because if it were, we've really messed up with our thoughts. We have to take the blame for everything that's happened in the world. Yikes. So manifestation. Manifestation is a little bit different. I talked about this earlier. And the reason why I separate the two is because I believe that manifestation is real. That means that it works. When you do these things like affirmations and scripting and visualization, it works. And there are two reasons for that. Number one, we are co-creating with the things around us. We may not be co-creating with what we think we're co-creating, more on that later, but we are co-creating. Not necessarily through our thoughts, but through the intentions that we set out. Now, there's also a psychological explanation for the law of attraction, and this psychological explanation tends to be really what's happening in most cases. So it's called positive thinking, and it has tons of psychological studies behind it. It's really interesting. I will leave some links below. But basically, if we think about something and we change the way that we think about ourselves, for an example, let's say that I want to become a millionaire. And so I think about myself as being a millionaire. I change the way that I think about myself. I do affirmations. I visualize myself getting ready in a luxurious bathroom. I feel the feeling of holding money in my hand. Well, what that's doing is it's reprogramming my mind, making me feel and think differently. And as a result, my actions are then going to change. And this is what's really happening, is our actions are changing through our thoughts. This is absolutely a psychological thing. And because our actions are changing, what happens in the world around us is changing. It's not happening because we're thinking fun thoughts. It's because we're changing our actions as a result of those thoughts. And this usually happens over time, so it's not always instant. So then how do we explain those situations where instant manifestation does happen? How do we explain those instances where I am thinking these thoughts and I'm doing all of these things, and all of a sudden $500 comes in my mailbox, or all of a sudden I find the perfect lover, the perfect partner? How do we explain those instances? Well, manifestation is real. Manifestation works. Manifestation is real. Manifestation works. It just doesn't work in the way that we think it works. I want you to think about something for a second. What is the universe? What is source? The idea is that when we send out a thought, or when we send out our feelings, we are becoming more like the change that we want to see in our lives. And so as a result, we're sending out that frequency to the universe. Well, what is the universe? We often hear that the universe is this source of divine love, divine light, abundance, freedom, all of these positive attributes and positive emotions. I don't believe that this is true. How do you really know what the universe is? How do you really know that the energy you're sending out is going to the universe and not to something else? And I believe that there's proof in our spiritual practice that the energies that we think we're sending out into the universe aren't actually going to the universe. And my reasoning for this is because anything that is truly of God, of divine love and of divinity, anything that is truly a vibration of God, doesn't serve our ego. And that's the problem with manifestation, is that it serves our ego. Because what happens is we set out an intention, we manifest this thing, and we go, holy crap, I just manifested that. I just manifested that. And yes, we may give gratitude to the universe and say, thanks, you really helped me out with this. But it's still serving our ego. And anything that's serving God is not going to serve our ego at the same time. That's how you know that something is out of balance here. That's how you know that something isn't right. If your spiritual practice is serving your ego more than it's serving God / divinity / humanity, then there's a problem. Something's out of balance. Manifestation is ultimately self-serving and self-focused. Now, I want to be clear here, there's nothing wrong with wanting happiness. There's nothing wrong with wanting joy. There's nothing wrong with wanting security. But we also have to realize that our desires are selfish. Our desires are so self-focused that it becomes all about, this is what I want, so I want to get it. This is what I want, so I'm going to do this to get it. And then our relationship with the universe, which some people believe is God, it becomes conditional. We're doing X, Y, and Z just so that we can get this result. We're doing X, Y, and Z because we believe that once we get this Lamborghini, or once we get this raise, or once we get this financial security, we'll be happy. That once we get this abundance, we'll feel closer to God. And that's just not true. That's not the reality. In fact, what's going to happen is you're going to get this manifestation. It's going to serve your ego. Your ego is going to feel amazing. You're going to feel happy. You're going to feel joy. And then you're going to be on to the next thing. You're going to say, I want more, I want more, I want more. The cycle of manifestation leaves us never content. We are never happy. We are always craving more. Manifestation trains the ego to constantly seek, to constantly be hungry. Because rest and satisfaction can only be found in God, and the universe is not God. The universe is the energy all around us. Yes, I'm the universe, you're the universe, but guess what? The universe is not God. The universe is just energy, it's just matter. So what's happening is you're sending out these intentions to anything and everything. And so what's happening is that spirits will grab onto that intention and they'll say, okay, cool, we'll fulfill this. But guess what? Those spirits have their own intentions. Those spirits have their own agendas. And so I'm thinking, and I'm sending out this energy. And what's happening is these entities are attaching onto it. And not all of these entities are evil. Yes, I believe in demons. Yes, I believe that they're evil spirits, but not all of these energies are evil. But they're certainly not God, and they certainly don't have your highest good in mind. They don't give a shit about you, basically. They don't care. They will fulfill what they need to fulfill for you, and at a time there will be some sort of price. Because we do have balance, right? There's duality. There's good and bad. If you do something and somebody does something for you, you have to do something for them in return. And so this is the mistake that we make, is we think that we can just ask and ask and ask and ask, and we never have to do anything in return, that we never have to give anything in return. The universe doesn't exist to serve us. The universe just exists. And God certainly doesn't exist to serve us. Not only does the law of attraction and manifestation serve the ego and the self, it brings us deeper into the ego. And by bringing us deeper into the ego, it takes away our true power, because our true power is found in God. So we believe that we have power in manifestation. We believe that, wow, we're powerful creators. We're creating everything around us. And we think that there's some sort of righteousness in that. We think that there's some sort of empowerment there. But what's really happening is we're being pulled away from our true power. The problem is that the law of attraction is taking away our true power. Our true power is found in our aligned action with God. There is power within action. Every single change that has happened in this world has happened through action. It hasn't happened through thinking positive thoughts, through praying, through sending out energy. It happens with actionable change. And guess what? The oppressive energies of this world, the opponents, the dark side, Satan, the devil, the oppressive energies of this world don't want us to have power. And so what are they doing? They're teaching us that our only power is in our mind. We are most powerful when we stay silent and just focus on our energy. We're most powerful when we don't focus on action, instead just focus on sending out good energy. Now, of course, most of us realize that this isn't the only answer, and we do recognize that there needs to be some action, but even by putting the most emphasis on our energy, we're stuck. We're taking away our power. We're surrendering our power to something that doesn't want us to have power. So I want to read a couple quotes from some of the New Age and some of the spiritual leaders when it comes to the law of attraction. The first is Wallace Wattles, who is a founder of New Thought. He wrote so many books on the abundance mindset, on law of attraction. He's really one of the forefathers of this movement. Do not talk about poverty. Do not investigate it or concern yourself with it. Do not spend your time in charitable work or charity movements. All charity only tends to perpetuate the wretchedness it aims to eradicate. Give your attention wholly to riches. Ignore poverty. So the reason why he brings this up is because, again, this idea is if we focus on poverty, if we focus on the issue of poverty, it's just going to continue to grow. So we don't even need to focus on it. We don't even need to look at it or think about it or act towards it. We certainly don't need to donate to charities or anything, because then that's just perpetuating the idea that there is a problem. So if we just ignore the problem, and if we just focus on changing our energy, it'll go away. Yeah. That's a problem. That's what's keeping us stuck. Let's read another one. This is by Rhonda Burns, who is the author of The Secret, which The Secret is really what blew up the law of attraction as we know it. It's really what really most of us are practicing. If you see people who are overweight, do not observe them. If you think or talk about disease, you will become sick. What you think or surround yourself with, good or bad, is what you will bring upon yourself. Again, really problematic. If you get cancer, just don't think about the cancer. Don't worry about it. Just ignore it, pretend it's not there. Focus on the fact that you're going to heal. That's all you need to focus on. It'll be fine. Wrong. So yeah, this is dangerous, you guys. The law of attraction manifestation, it works in the short term, and it's fun in the short term. But my problem that I have with it is ultimately you're feeding your ego. You're feeding the cycle of your ego, and automatically that's going to bring you further from God. My friend Caitlin made a really awesome post on this on her Instagram story, and she posed the question of, where are you getting your power from? If it's not from God, where are you getting your power? The more power you give to yourself, the less power God has in your life. Where are you getting your power from, guys? Think about it. Meditate on it. Let it stir in your mind for a little bit. Where is your power coming from? And how do you really know where it's coming from? And that's another challenge that I have against the law of attraction is, why are we placing our desires, our infantile, egotistical desires, what we think is right for our life, why are we placing that before what we think our Creator has in mind for us? Why are we putting our will above the will of God or whatever you believe in? Why are we placing our will first when we are so limited? We are not gods. We don't have infinite knowledge or infinite wisdom. We think we do sometimes, but we don't. We're just children trying to play around, fix our own shit, and take control of our life when really we don't know what we're doing. And we can pretend like we have a divine vision of what is best for us. We can pretend that we know exactly what we need to manifest in order to make us happy. But really that's just the ego. Because until we are aligned with God, not the universe, God, the divine creator, until we are aligned with God, all of our heart's desires, all of our mind's desires are coming from the ego. It's coming from self. It's coming from the flesh. Until we can anchor into our intuition, which only comes through connection with God, until we strengthen that intuition, we're manifesting from our ego. And when we manifest from our ego, it will never be as good as what God has for us, what the Creator has for us. It will never live up or measure up. It may be cool, it may be nice, it may be fun, it may fulfill that hole for just a second, but at the end of the day, when it fades away, you're left with nothing. That car isn't going to keep you happy forever. That sum of money may save you from your temporary problems, but in the long term, you're still empty. At some point, we have to surrender and let go and realize that we are not gods. We are not in control. We don't know everything. We have to let go and let ourselves be taken care of. And that's the beautiful thing about surrendering and detaching, is that we don't have to do all the work. We get to just sit back, relax, and let God handle it. Let the higher being who actually knows what the heck they're doing take care of our life. It's that easy. It's just about building a relationship with the divine and then trusting in the divine. Because the more we try to figure out our own life and the more we try to force our egotistical view of what our life should look like into reality, the more we're just going to become lost and confused and realize that what we thought we wanted isn't actually what we wanted. And it all just backfires until it crumbles, and eventually we have no choice but to say, God, Creator, whatever you believe in, I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. And it's easy. It's easy when we let it be easy. It doesn't have to be complicated. We don't have to master a million techniques. We don't have to whip the universe into our submission. We don't have to force our mind to only think positively, which is dangerous, by the way. We get to just be. We get to just let go. We get to be children. We get to play. We get to just trust. We get to build in a relationship with the divine, and it's easy. So yeah, that's my video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I know some people are not going to agree with this, and that's totally fine. If you have any questions or thoughts, I would love to answer them. Let me know if you want more videos on this subject. If you want me to go more in depth in any areas, I'm more than happy to. With that being said, enjoy your day. I hope you're having a lovely, lovely week. Stay safe. Be blessed. Love you guys.